else think? Come.
By first recognizing Brian as well as Brent. You guys have been very helpful in responding and communication, and I really appreciate the time that you guys put in to communicate with us as the community members, and I see it and it's very much appreciated, so thank you for what you do. First, I kind of wanted to bring up
Guys, I am losing a fist fight with my phone right now. We are in public comment. I walked in when Grove was going on a rampage, so we'll have to check that from their live. Unfortunately, I'm stuck in this mode. I could not get it to work. Okay. I couldn't get it to work. Pete Science is now here instead of Bray. The mayor was going on a freaking rampage, though, talking about Eddie being mean to the people there, and or like calling them out, whatever, and he's kicking everybody out or whatever. I don't know. I didn't catch it all. I'm still working on it. I mean, they fight with this thing still. I'm trying to get it to work. So unfortunately, we are gonna have to deal with it being this way. I actually wasn't supposed to be able to make it, and then somehow both games ended up getting canceled. Hey Robert, John Eagle, Brian, hey buddy. My other angel, Cat Scratch. Victor, what's up? Okay, I'm going back in. This guy was on a freaking rampage, though. I only caught a little bit of it.
they have flammable symbols on them, and there's just an X with a Sharpie put through them. I don't really know how this is appropriate or how we would address this, but if someone can further follow up on that as well, that would be very nice. That's all I got, so thank you.
Did you contemplate?
Dawn Hicks. After 3 weeks of no readings, I'm happy to say the Rotary Park air monitor is up and running again as of May 2nd. Funny enough, the library's air monitor went down that same day. Fortunately, that came back online May 8th. Also, Brent, at the February 20th city meeting, you said you were told that the data from the air monitor is still being recorded, even if the app doesn't show that information. Unfortunately, that's not the case. I received a response on this issue from Natasha Gaines from IQ Air. Her email response was this: thank you for reaching out to IQ Air regarding historical air quality data. Unfortunately, if the sensor is offline during a certain time and not collecting data, then there would not be data for us to collect. I am not sure exactly why your sensor went offline, as there are many reasons a sensor can go down, such as connectivity issues, power interruptions, etc. So Brent, I just wanted you to be aware. I was wondering when or if Rotary Park's playground will be fixed so it'll be safe for children of all abilities. Mayor Grove, I'd like to address our water for a minute. I'm very pleased to say that I have not seen any complaints about our water on social media in weeks. However, I am disturbed on some paperwork I acquired. I'm just going to read a small part. The lead and copper rule protect public health by minimizing lead and copper levels in drinking water, primarily by reducing water corrosivity. Lead and copper enter drinking water mainly from corrosion of lead and copper containing plumbing materials. Violation begin October 1st, 2023. Violation end February 29th, 2024. Violation explained. We failed to test our drinking water for the contaminant and period indicated. Because of this failure, we cannot be sure of the quality of our drinking water during the period indicated. So many times we asked about our water during this period. This is why we have a hard time trusting you, Jeff. I'd like to end this on a positive note. A few shout outs to the city workers. Thank you for fixing the yellow riding toy at Egler Park. The bar had snapped and it looks like it was completely replaced, so thank you. I've noticed a lot of the sewer grates have been cleaned out. Thank you for installing receptacles in the women's bathroom here. And a special shout out to Jerry, I didn't catch his last name, for addressing a resident's concern on Facebook about the state of her curb. He was respectful and helpful. I also want to say I'm glad to see that the tarps came down at the old Maytag building. It kind of made downtown look like Skid Row.
Any other public comment?
In just a minute.
Angel, were you here when I did my precursor? Public comment?
I heard the end of it.
Just want to make sure you understand. Prior to going into your
I-
public comment.
I'll be honest, I don't understand. Did you want to go back over it?
But basically, you cannot use anything that's harassing, harassment that be defined under sexual or physical or workplace harassment.
What would that be?
So, definition, you can look up if you need time to go home, but I think you've been in enough places, you're pretty astute to it.
Oh, so nothing I've done in the past would result for that,
I
right?
don't know your past.
Here. Is what I meant. Okay. Is that correct though? In the past year, I haven't.
I basically said anything harassing or name calling or personal attacks. So if you feel you did that, then I guess you got away with it. Going forward, it's not gonna be allowed. So
No,
if you think
I
you
don't
did
do that. You should know that. You ready, Jen?
Yep.
Well, I didn't think I'd be able to make it tonight, but here I am. Dawn notified me that there were finally cans in the bathroom to use for items containing, well, blood. I was delighted to see that my tampon demonstration worked. There is not only bins in both stalls, there is also a new can near the sink that has a lid. Little Johnny can no longer use tampons as slingshots while his mommy's in the stall. Do you know what I call that? A win. Thank God us hormonal broads get up here doing what we do. Weeks after I initially brought this to Mr. Grove's attention, I brought a similar issue up to another local mayor after a meeting. The issue there was simply that one of 3 stalls was missing the feminine bin. That mayor listened, respected that us gals do have different needs, and quickly notified me when the needed equipment was ordered. By the next city council meeting, which was last week, everything was installed for women to use. This other mayor also took concerns I had at a local park seriously. He made sure a potentially dangerous area was taped off once it was brought to his attention. In fact, they had already noticed the general danger of this area and began the process to repair this danger zone. Sure, the short-term solution was overlooked at first, but when brought up, it was swiftly handled and taped off. I see why this city is losing employees to Peru. Due to the professionalism and actions of this other mayor and many of the city employees, I was able to use my public comment time to praise the positives as I stood in front of at least 3 times the amount of humans here today. Mayor Grove, you had the same chance to be a decent guy, a true leader, but you decide to boldly ignore the issues until someone gets up here calling you out. You then target those people. I want to know if you have a timeline for Rotary's safety problems being permanently fixed. Rod Thorson, the same goofball who drunkenly pulls firearms on his neighbors, is so misguided that he compared people speaking during public comment to a loud muffler, that it's annoying and should be criminal. Yep, Roddy himself now wants our public comments to be criminalized, but look at what's being accomplished here. Small yet mighty changes. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Under no circumstance do I support someone calling up the police department, making threats, or even deep hurtful comments about family members getting ill. I was sad to hear some of the things the chief told me about, but was I shocked? No. I've had it happen myself, direct threats, things being sent to my house. When my dad and sister passed in 2022, just weeks apart, I heard and read brutal comments that I will never forget. Statements like those ones are a different type of low, and I would never support it, even directed at you, Mayor Grove. I told the chief that my response to what he told me was sincere, and I meant that. Unlike what you believe, Mayor Grove, I'm far too honest to be a politician. Speaking of threats, I would like to simply give a direct quote from a LaSalle County Sheriff's Office report. John and Jamie then told John he hopes he doesn't see him outside because he'd kick his ass, end quote. The next quote came from the same deputy's report regarding the follow-up phone call with Mr. Duncan. John asked if the report was finished for Jamie Hicks threatening to whip the fuck out of him and what was being done about it. I explained to John he had told me before leaving yesterday that he did not wish to pursue anything at the time. John explained that he now wanted to press charges for Jamie threatening to whip the fuck out of him. I explained to John the language he's using is different from yesterday. I then read back the statement to him that he had given me yesterday about Jamie telling him he hopes he doesn't see him outside because he's going to kick his ass. This is deeply concerning. As you can see, Mr. Hicks can no longer attend these meetings. As part of my investigation, I spoke with the sheriff's office. Without naming names, if anyone here believes the deputy lied about Mr. Duncan's claims in the report, the sheriff's office encourages you to file a formal complaint, view the recordings, or contact a supervisor. In my eyes, if you truly believe any of that report was falsified by the deputy, you have a duty to report it. Integrity is everything. For the remainder of my time, I'm holding a silent one-man protest against all forms of retaliation.
You're 5 minutes early.
Thanks, John.
Anybody else like to speak?
Hello. I have a few things. First thing is I don't come up here to be intentionally annoying. What I specifically want is to honestly learn and how I can be a better citizen for the city of LaSalle that I've lived in my whole life. I have had some issues. I've been trying to email Jordan and Lou, who are my aldermen, and Mayor Grove, and I have gotten no responses. Are you guys not getting my email?
John, stop the clock, please. No, I am not getting your emails. If you go to the city website and click it, a lot of times it goes to spam or I don't get it at all. I've addressed that with your daughter Brianne, and we have exchanged emails directly, and now we talk perfectly fine. So give me your email, write it down, I'll email it to you, email you from my account, you just click reply, and we'll go from there. But yes, as of right now, I've not gotten one single thing.
Okay.
John, continue, please.
This worries me because if anybody who tries to reach out to you, nobody will be able to contact you if you're not getting these emails. So my main purpose of bringing this up, besides actually wanting to talk to you, is so that the public knows how to address all of y'all. If you don't like us coming up here and continually talking and asking questions, is there any way that you would, like the city of Peru, offer the packets before the meeting so that we could get them and look over them and then ask questions, particularly pertaining to what's in the agenda? If not, perhaps, which I don't think this will go over well, but offer a few minutes at the end of the meeting so that we can ask questions after you've discussed something that maybe we didn't understand in the beginning. There was a couple minutes that have been posted, the transcripts, and I didn't see that in there. If that was legit or not. And I also wanted to ask a question about the fiber that was getting the company to pick with the fiber. Are other internet companies allowed to use that same fiber? I didn't quite understand that whole situation. Just that one company that we'd have to go to? All right, that's all I have.
Any other thoughts on this question tonight?
Could you go back over what you were,
Any other questions, thoughts tonight, or anybody else?
could you go back over what you were saying in the beginning?
That's number two, interruption. Anybody else tonight? Approval of minutes.
Your Honor, I make a motion that we approve the minutes of the regular city council meeting held April 29th, 2024, placed on file, which Alderman has a copy.
Motion on Reynolds, I'm on Herndon for the minutes, all in favor? Aye. Against? Motion carried. Discussion potential action on bond petitions, we'll do all three at the same time, please.
Okay, request from Ameren, Illinois to break ground at 549 Sterling Street, 655th Street, and 727 Athens Street.
Your Honor, I move we grant the request from Ameren, Illinois to break ground.
So this dirtbag, I don't know if you guys heard it, but he just gave me my second warning before I ever got my first warning, as far as I'm aware. I never heard a first warning. And I raised my hand, and he asked if there was any more questions, and he looked at me, and I asked him my question. He's trying to do anything to get me out of here, is what he's doing. So, I like how they added this sign, though, that was never here. So yeah, he's trying to kick me out. Yeah, I did not hear it. According to signs, he wasn't sure, because I asked him to cop there. I'm actually rather pissed. I knew he'd, as we both know, Jamie, we knew he was going to come for me next. I didn't catch his whole rampage, and he asked me if I caught it, and then now gets all butthurt when I ask again so I can follow the rules properly. The angry vet, sorry.
Aye.
Aye.
This kind of works out well, we're gonna do our show this year at the celebration in June. Yeah. Reports to city officers.
Building inspectors report for April 2024 showing total fees collected of $2,300 for a total value of construction of $230,595. Total fees collected of $5,535.40.
Your Honor, I move that we accept and place on file monthly police report for April 2024.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Herndon, second by Alderman Reynolds, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carried.
Treasurer's report for April 2024 showing total cash balances in LaSalle State Bank of $10,813,936.77 and in Hometown National Bank of $7,930,153.06.
Your Honor, I move that we accept the treasurer's report as read, placed on file, each and every element of the copy.
Motion by Alderman Tax, second by Alderman Barrett, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carried. Communications. Bids. Appointments, resignations. Extension, please.
Discussion of potential action regarding the recommendation of the Finance Committee regarding a request of Margie King of 907 First Street LLC for a redevelopment incentive program grant totaling $12,500 for premises located at 907 First Street and related matters.
Your Honor, the Finance Committee voted to accept the request from Marshall King for the RIP grant for the total of $12,500 at 907 First Street and related matters.
Motion by Alderman Tax, second by Alderman Thompson. Again, that building looks real good. All right, there with the office supply as well as the building right next to it. They separated the addresses. Please roll, please.
Alderman Thompson.
Aye.
Kaczak.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Woodbury. Jefferson.
Aye.
Herndon.
Aye.
Crane.
Aye.
Castleberg.
Aye.
Discussion of potential action regarding the recommendation of the Finance Committee regarding the installation of a generator transfer switches at the city's well field stands at a cost of
Your Honor, the Finance Committee voted to accept the bid from Feesink Electric for the amount of $103,882 for the generator transfer switches and related matters.
Motion on the tax and on the rentals, take a roll, please.
Alderman Patak.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Blueberry.
Aye.
Jepson.
Aye.
Herndon.
Aye.
Crane.
Aye.
Vassar.
Aye.
Thompson.
Aye.
Discussion potential action regarding the recommendation of the Finance Committee regarding the installation of a generator transfer switch at the East End Booster Station at a cost of $19,971 and related matters.
Your Honor, the Finance Committee voted to accept the bid from Brady Electric for $19,971 to install a generator transfer switch at the East End Booster Station and related matters.
Motion on the tax and on the rentals, take a roll, please.
Alderman Reynolds.
Excuse me, Alderman, Blueberry, I bet.
Yes.
That's second.
Aye.
Thank you. Alderman LaBerry.
Aye.
Jepson.
Aye.
Herndon.
Aye.
Crane.
Aye.
Vassar.
Aye.
Thompson.
Aye.
Patak.
Aye.
Discussion potential action regarding the recommendation of the Finance Committee regarding the purchase of the 6 double face attack.
Oh. I don't know what happened to my other live. It says I've only been live for 3:18. Is this the same one, guys? I don't know what's going on with it. I had such a problem getting it on. But anyway, for those of you who didn't hear already, apparently I have 2 strikes already. When I literally raised my hand and asked a question regarding the new rules that he was going over before I was in here, that he asked if I understood. And allegedly there was some first comment. Now we're going to see if Signs knows how to honor his oath or not, because I'm actually really freaking upset. I knew they were going to do this dirtbag, and he wonders why people keep coming here talking about him. I wonder why. But, well, so if anybody is aware of the timing for that, give me the timestamp. But as far as I know, I was never given a first warning. I don't know when my first warning was. No, I barely made it here on time. You don't understand. You do not understand.
This company's more economically feasible to use on the big stuff. But yeah, that's the one that did it, actually, the day Karis happened, they were on Marquette, or on 6th Street doing the installation. So it's something that can be done all year round.
Okay.
But yeah, they will get in there and fix it. I'm hoping in the next couple weeks. Tomorrow I'll call them if it's approved tonight, and they will order the materials, and when they come in, they'll do it. They know they need to get on it right away. We also are paving that 2-block stretch as part of the MFT program, so I want them to get in there as quickly as possible, because we have to remove the manhole top on 7th Street, because they always work upstream to downstream, so.
Thank you.
What's nice about this program is that now we're not turning the roads, we're not having any inconvenience. Right, overall less expensive.
Yeah, it's very pricey, but it's much less cost than digging up with all the utilities we have too. I mean, there's water, there's gas, there's a lot of issue at the alley, a lot of crossing issues. And that's why we decided to line, we were gonna look at just replacing a small section, but it was, the bottom's pretty much gone on that whole stretch. Second.
Brian, it wasn't possible to get a competitive bid on these, right, because there's so many companies.
Yeah, there's only a couple companies in the local, and this being an emergency, they actually gave lower bid than they did last time when I had the competitive bid between them and the Ottawa company. So they used, I think, the first time was $395 a foot, and this time was $375. So it's actually less than it was 2 years ago.
Is there a motion, Alderman Crane, second, Alderman Reynolds, take a roll, please.
Alderman Jepson.
Aye.
Herndon.
Aye.
Crane.
Aye.
Vassar.
Aye.
Thompson.
Aye.
Patak.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
LaBerry.
Aye.
Well, we're under old business, I'd like to address Dawn and the air monitor. I think, we think that might have been, a breaker, someone switched the breaker off, turned the lights on and off out in the park with the baseball diamonds. So now, Brent, if I'm right here, they put a lock on the.
Yeah, but there's a lock on that. Now we think it was accidental.
Yeah.
We may have been trying to switch the lights in this spot.
So yeah, someone might have been just switch.
Is it like the same breaker for like the bulb?
It's not, I don't know that it is the same one, but it is similar in the same vicinity. And, I did learn talking to them that I don't know if it was necessarily the length of time it was out the first time, or if that was a connection issue and this is a power issue, they did advise us we're not gonna get the people back. So we locked that down, hoping that that's going to solve the issue. But if there's any issues with that air monitor, you can email my office, call my office, it's a little faster, make sure that they're aware of it, and hopefully address it. I think that this is gonna rectify that. I mean, let they solve their out, hopefully, the issues with power, connection issues may still happen from time to time, but those can still retain the data. So, we'll just continue checking that and being more, I can't do it with the library, so we're all, it's on my list right here to email the library. See if-
Yeah, the library is being run by a university in another state.
Oh,
So we really have nothing to do with, all we do is install. And they do all the monitoring and maintenance on the grounds. So, thanks, Ron.
Thank you. Also, I had to come up on that 23 million building report. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but that was correct. And that's why there was some follow-up on it.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear anything.
That 23 million building cost, that was correct. So that's why it didn't come up again.
I'll add a little business as well. We got our final report from our 18 recyclers that did our e-waste recycling event this year. If you remember, originally we decided to wait 2 years to do another one to see if the demand was still there. We actually had more cars this year than we did last 2 years ago, but we had less materials in them. So I think the first time we did this, we had 287 cars. This time we had 310. The amount collected 2 years ago was 32,000 pounds. This year was 26,000 pounds. So not asking for any sort of action, obviously, on this tonight, but I didn't know what the council's appetite was, if we wanted to do another one in 2 years' time or not. Want to add as well, we've been getting, been accessing what is basically a grant, both these times, the electronics device recycling act, or the version of that, that is set to sunset in 2026. So if we were to do another one in 2026, we could still take advantage of that grant while it is available. Word on the street is that that's going to be extended, but currently it's set to sunset 2026. So if the council feels this is still a worthwhile event and they've got residents that are desirable, we can do it again in 2 years' time. Obviously, I'll bring in a contract at that time to set a date, but if you just help me get some of the ideas for having the council.
I don't know what the council thinks, but obviously the fact that there's more cars, I think is still a good thing. And I think we all know nowadays the devices are a lot lighter than years ago, so maybe those old ones are getting more, used out now, and it's lighter, I don't know, poundage wise.
I would think we're getting a grant when we go for it. That would be my opinion.
Did the grant, how much did it cost the grant cover?
I don't have that in front of me. I know that it was significant we brought it down thousands of dollars. I want to say it was, I don't know. I have to count it here.
Brent, I know you worked out there, and I think John helped too. What was the response from people? They were positive about it?
They're very.
Do you think it's something we should continue?
You could tell the trucks coming by, the first year had, tons of material in it. Everybody this year had fewer material, but they were still very, glad to have the event. And obviously, the act was put in place specifically because these electronic device companies pay into that grant, basically helping the communities dispose of it after they can't just overcharge it. Hearing no real cons, I'll plan on possibly bringing that to you again. Maybe I think there's a question beyond that, feel free to reach out.
Mayor, I'm gonna like to address maybe two of Dina's concerns. One was the IT. Has that been checked into?
Say again.
The IT issue where she can't email.
No, I have that on my list right now. I wasn't aware of that specifically when it comes to aldermen. I know we've had issues in the past. I'll reach out to our website poster. I can tell you right now, this was put in place before I was here. I'm going to guess that was put in place rather than having your email just on the webpage, because having your email accounts just listed on a webpage generally attracts a lot more spam bots that comb through websites, snatch emails, and send hundreds of junk mail. I'm gonna guess that's why a contact form was created, with master page to get in. We did look at one of your accounts at some point in the past, and we did find it working, but I've not done a full audit of every contact form on there. So I can reach out to our provider and see if they have any advice on that, try and test why Herndon and Crane may not be getting those emails.
Okay.
But I know it's simpler than just putting an email account on the webpage. I know the website provider's gonna push back and say you shouldn't do that for
Okay.
I believe already know. But that doesn't mean we can't talk to them and ask to find out what the disconnect currently is, why it's going possibly to jump meal meeting.
All
I
right.
know everybody, city staff has a contact phone, I know that we get those.
Okay.
I get those, the staff members get those. But you don't have city email accounts, may make it different of why they make point standard.
Makes sense, understand. Yeah, another thing, being with the fiber, Geneseo, that would be their own, so nobody else would be able to use that. We did not do an exclusive agreement, so if CERT wanted to come in and do their own thing, they could do that.
With their own.
With their own.
Without your permission.
No.
They would have to come through us, yeah.
One final little business too is we had a community event on Saturday. Registration is available on our Facebook page, and on our website. It's Saturday, 8 a.m. Everybody's welcome to attend. The RSVP is really just so we get an idea of the volunteer count, so we know what to provide. And then I will email out volunteers by the end of this week with more firm details and just logistics.
How much feedback have we got from that?
I guess a lot of people just show up.
That's what we're thinking as well. We want to have a rough idea. So if you're out there and you're interested in volunteering, please reach out to RSVP.
I want to address Tom Johnson. Tom, we're going to have the bill set. Already asked him this morning to go check the building permit. They did the building permit for the fence. Just so you know, people can put a fence right on the property line, so I'm not exactly, you know exactly where your property line is.
Yeah.
As far as the fence permit, I can make sure they do that. Other than that, unfortunately, it's a civil matter, and there's not a whole lot we can do.
I understand
Yeah,
perfectly about the property lines and the fence and where it can be put.
okay.
He is on his land. I think that the city should change the way that the permits are issued, so the neighbors can be notified that a fence is going to be put in, so I can come down here and discuss with you before the fence is in, how that's gonna impact my property. I think that should definitely be changed. You can't just dole out permits, helter-skelter,
Well, I just
not
wanted to let
knowing,
you
not
know that.
knowing.
I don't want to get discussion with you because that's not this time.
I mean, just saying,
I just
let
wanna
me
follow-
finish, let me finish.
Tom, I'm not really finished.
Okay, fine.
But we're looking into it and we plan out for you, okay? And then number two, I just want to say, just so you know, we did talk to the alderman, let them know today that team's gonna go ahead and take care of the Rotary Park playground. So hopefully, starting this week or next week, as soon as they have a break, again, we all know lead times and people are super busy this time of year. But I know they realize how important it is for us to do that, so he will be taking care of that for us. And then I do want to remind everybody in High Grass, Chief and Andy, how many tickets do you guys wrote for High Grass?
Probably about 75 to 100.
So we asked everybody to try to do your best. You know, it's raining a little bit out there and it's hard to get in and out, especially when it rains and that sun comes out, it's like that grass on steroids. But we just need everybody to, you know, do their part and keep their lawns up, especially with the situation where, you know, it definitely affects your neighbor by not having your lawn kept up. So thank you for everybody's help on that, and I appreciate the chief and his guys enforcing that, making sure we're doing the right thing. And Alderman, if you see anything, obviously, I know you guys are, please pass it along to the chief to make sure we get those addressed. And one last thing I have for our old business is LRS containers. I pretty much see this for sure on Crusade Street. You guys might have got calls on this, I don't know if you're there or not. But LRS, obviously, the goal for the LRS employees, safety thing, is to be able to use that arm, right? To come out and grab your can, your dumpster, or your tote, as it was called, and dump it. It's safe for them, it's safe for everybody. We do know sometimes cars are parked there. You know, I do in my neighborhood too. I have to move mine to the side where I know, I actually kind of put it right next to my driveway, so I know that I'm the only one parked there, and they can get to it. But again, they've been doing a good job, I know, since we've had them, is going out themselves, moving that tote over so they can reach it. But again, I think we just need to make sure we all kind of think ahead and help out on that. We do have questions, I have a question to LRS, because there might be one driver who might not be doing that, and it might just be in that or training. But again, whenever we can try to do that, please make sure we're putting those containers in the place where the arm can get to it. But I know across that street, you have that, you know, the parking along that west side all the way down, and, you know, it's a factor, so we just need the best we can do.
We look at it between them too.
Yep, good point.
Cycling.
Yeah, we've had a similar issue on Marquette Street on the west side of the street, so like, you can only park on that side of the street if it's even close to the vehicle they've skipped up. And, I think we've all learned down the street to pull it out into the road a little bit, keep them spaced apart, and it gets picked up every time, so.
Yeah, I've seen it too, kind of reminds me of, my buddy used to live in Chicago, and they used to put like chairs out there during the winter time.
Yes.
To block the road for parking, so if you see the containers out there, that's why obviously people are doing it, but that's a good idea, right the road. New business.
Discussion of potential action regarding approval of work to be completed by John Homer and Sons at a cost of $20,589 regarding ditch cleaning from Richard Hallett Road to Oak Ridge Golf Course and related matters.
Your Honor, I move that we grant the approval of the work to be completed by John Porter and Sons for Richard Allen to drive.
Second.
Motion Alderman Hernan, second Alderman Crane, take the roll please.
Alderman Herndon.
Aye.
Crane.
Aye.
Bassador.
Aye.
Thompson.
Aye.
Attack.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Blueberry. Jefferson.
Aye.
Is that really in front of the duplexes then? Is that what?
It's in between them. There's that ditch that comes from the field that drains about a square mile,
Okay.
has silted in. It's causing the culverts to fail, and this fall we'll be repaving Richard Hallett Road. And we're having a little bit of issue with the end sections, so that includes some repair, cleaning up the culverts in preparation for paving the roadway.
So that's where the water flows from west to.
Right, and I've been in contact with the Village of Utica engineer to contact the farmer or the owner of that property to see if there's a way they will put in a greenway or green space prior to kind of limit the silt that comes underneath their culverts, and he's had little to no luck, and I don't believe there's anything we can force to do, but we will do some armoring, riprap, erosion protection on the farm side to try to minimize anything that will come into the culvert.
That's Larry Flynn's property.
Correct.
Or not, what?
And get help, yeah.
Have we been, have we had any complaints now that we got the lighting out there?
I haven't got.
Speed or anything like
I
that?
think we were pretty happy.
I'll be going very happy.
Just so you know, Brian Montecro will look about the reflectors you're gonna put in.
Yeah, if, like, when you drive along the interstate or a state highway, you see the reflectors they're called raised reflectors that are either on the edge line or in the center line. We are going to, as part of this project, I'm putting those in just because it's more of a remote, darker area, so I'm gonna have those put in along the center line, on the curves and the turn lanes. So you'll see them if the, striping out there fades. We're putting in thermoplastic, which should last 5 to 10 years, but as it fades, these reflectors will still channel the drivers in the proper. It's nice to have the lighting out there, but this will enhance it even more.
Authorization to put out for bid the depot retaining wall along First Street and related matters.
This is the wall right by the training station on the west side. I know Brian, I think we're all gonna be in agreement that we're trying to do work on First Street from Buckland to the base of the rail track by 101. In the future, we wanted to wait till all that traffic was done when they were doing a restoration on the canal for the Amber cleanup. We're getting past that point, but I think it's time to do that on the retaining wall.
Okay, so people should have a key on it? At the street?
Good call.
Okay.
Train people.
Yeah, I move we authorize to, put that out for bid.
I intend on bidding it June 6th if it's approved, and the council can act on it in the June 10th meeting.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Motion by Alderman Crane, second by Alderman Jefferson, take the roll.
Alderman Crane.
Aye.
Bassador.
Aye.
Thompson.
Aye.
Attack.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Blueberry.
Aye.
Jefferson.
Aye.
Herndon.
Aye.
Discussion and potential action regarding a letter of support to OSF St. Elizabeth administrative team regarding proposed investments in OSF St. Elizabeth Peru campus location to become a regional hub hospital and related matters.
Your Honor, there's, I know I was upset with the changes in healthcare area, but in the rural area, we're gonna either have to accept the changes or we're gonna lose our healthcare.
agree, Doc, you know.
So I think it's very good that, there is a plan.
I think there's some concern that were brought up by other communities that might be having less services, but still are having services in their city. Unlike South Peru and IBC, we had no services, right? We had to go to Mendota, Princeton, Ottawa, and sometimes Pontiac. What's fortunate now is that OSF came in and purchased the Peru building, and we have service again. Again, it's at least emergency care and then being outsourced to other facilities that have maybe overnight accommodations and stuff. But my understanding is the Ottawa hospital is gonna be, the new ones that we built across the street, probably not the same level of service as the one they have now. And I think that's why we're hearing some concerns from other communities, about that, but still gonna have a service there, right, in Ottawa. So I don't think, by us showing for support, we're not saying that we don't agree with Ottawa. I think we're just happy to have OSF here, in Peru, and obviously helps us out too in our area. Probably some adjustments by all the communities. You know, we talked to Kurt, they basically just emergency room at Kurt each year, and then they have to go to Ottawa. So again,
ED, I can't. I'm on my second strike. If I get 3, they're gonna force me to leave against my will. The reason you cannot hear them is because most of them don't speak into their microphones. This has been addressed multiple times. I can't tell you how many times. Actually, like I said earlier, for those of you that already heard, I got my first strike and apparently had no idea, and nobody else, including the cops, seemed to hear it. So, oh, I heard the end of it. I was hoping he would reiterate while I was up there, but he of course couldn't. We'll see if Signs and the rest of them, though, are willing to go along with that and violate our protections. As you guys noticed, Dawn, Dina, and that guy, all 3 were allowed to speak a little bit during this end part. But when I raised my hand, when he asked for if anybody had other questions, and I wanted him to tell me about what I missed because he had brought it up earlier to me. And what did he say? He wouldn't let me, and then he gave me another strike when I didn't even know I had the first one. Yeah, he's a fucking piece of shit. This guy's gonna get this town sued. He really is.
So I was a little disappointed. I got reached out by the newspaper. Real great guy, Charlie O'Brien, I think we all know him. And he said if I wanted to give some comments, I didn't want to give any comments on the agreement prior to the agreement actually not being over yet, even though I think we all kind of knew where it was going. So let me continue with my statement. My name is Jeff Grove. I'm the mayor of the city of South. I wanted to give a statement. This is my position. It does not necessarily represent that of the city council members. Some aldermen may share my position, maybe all. That is for them to tell. Last Thursday, May 9th, marked the last day of the agreement between the city of LaSalle and the CL Group in regards to 801, 805 First Street. The agreement was entered into on January 9th, 2023. Obviously, I'm disappointed that this project is not completed. In late 2022, the city hired outside counsel to direct us on how to handle the lack of progress by CL on a building in the center of LaSalle's business district. First step was to come up with an agreement with CL to give the developer an opportunity to complete the project. In good faith, the city entered into this agreement. I was cautiously optimistic. The city offered financial incentives to go into effect after completion. The main point of that is everyone needs to realize it was after the completion of the project. And again, it would be paid back through taxes from the real estate. And this is all part of the agreement. I was disappointed that no representative from CL reached out to the city to give a courtesy heads up that the project 801, 805 First Street would not be completed by 5/9/24, but they took the time to answer an inquiry from the newspaper. It is convenient that initially I am being told that Kears Chemical and CL are separate entities. Now an excuse in the newspaper stated that the delay is because of the Kears fire. I find it interesting that Kears Chemical is already rebuilding their assets lost in the fire, but cannot finish 801, 805 First Street. We have developers in the city that have finished projects and are currently doing projects that started before and after we had the agreement 16 months ago with CL. Thank you, Mike Bird, Luke Blyden, and David Cooley, to say a couple of them, for doing it the right way. Kears Chemical is already rebuilding their assets lost in the fire, but cannot finish 801, 805 First Street. Now that the agreement is over, it's time to move to the next option, in my opinion. You'll see from pictures from our city building inspector and city engineer who went through on Friday, I believe, that this building is far, far from being finished. I do not blame Mr. Fox, we met last week. I do not blame Raphael, who's been kind of this on-site manager. The responsibility falls on the shoulders of Peter Limburger, in my opinion. He's the one who's responsible for financing the project. I believe the city should move forward into courts to get control of the building and find a developer to fix it. No more extensions, no more excuses. I, along with many constituents and visitors, get sick to my stomach every time I drive by 801, 805 First Street. Thank you. Again, this is just my opinion. It's gonna be up to the council to decide what they want to do, but I think enough's enough. And you know, when I look at it, we learn how to do this with 801, 805, and then we have a footprint of how to address the casket.
Oh, and can I add something to that? My own personal opinion, it's not just Mr. Limburger. In the meeting that we had before this contract was signed, it was Inga Karas that I had to sit and listen to. So let's not misunderstand that they could have fixed this anytime they wanted. They have the money to repair their factories. We had to fight for the insurance money, for our fire department losses. We had to wait on that stuff. It's not the way you do business. It's time for us to act. So I agree with the mayor 100%.
My question is, after we get it, and the expenses that we haven't discussed as to what will it cost us in the long run if we don't agree and go forward with these folks? They have a new person in there. I think that they have an opportunity to finish. And I think they need to work closely with the city to stay on some kind of a target hereafter. Give this new fellow an opportunity to finish the project. But all it does is get us a bad press. My concern really is, how does this really make LaSalle look to outside people who would like to come in here? That we wouldn't work, even extend our agreement. It does not look good from the outside if other people want to come here.
Well, I've been listening to them. Your Honor, I've been listening to them with the hotel. We started with, remember all the promises, all the booklets we got? First National Bank of Davenport was gonna take it over, the Chinese. So we heard all their lies on the hotel, and now they're doing the same thing down there. It's the same thing. Oh, they got this brand new guy. You know, he just does what they tell him, right? That's all he is a spokesperson, like Nathan was. So we're dealing with the same bullshit we had with the hotel over and over and over again. They promised while they were working here. How many places had they opened? 3? Had one in Washington, one in DeKalb, and one stuff. They opened 3 of them while ours is sitting here. So I think pull everything out from under them.
My main concern is.
Please remember to talk in the microphone, everybody, thank you.
Today's May 13th, and our agreement ended May 9th. And the only reason I heard that they're interested in getting, maybe an extension is through the newspaper article, where they said they're hoping to get extension for the city. I never got reached out to. All of you get reached out to?
No, absolutely not.
So, and then there's nobody here tonight, so it kind of shows me, kind of a lack of respect.
They reached out.
What they say to you, Jerry?
They asked if we could,
Mr. Maddox,
city council
use the
could approve.
microphone.
They asked if the city council could approve an extension until we get everything together and move forward with what already got started. That's why Michael or Nick Fox was here to come somewhat explain, excuse me, somewhat explain their present position, and they want to move on from here.
I think they want to talk that night. He wanted to talk about the hammer issue. That was fine. That's why we didn't open up to 801. He didn't say anybody 801.
I'm in agreement with you, as I think, Dory, I'm just speaking for myself. Matt Baker was still employed by the News from You when they gave Alderman Bessler a quote, bullshit boulevard. And I can't tell you how many years ago that was. These people have just been lying to us. Do your due diligence. We have due diligence. Do what you need to do, and just us, they're no good for us. You can say what you want, these people are nothing but liars. They did it to us on, Kaskaskia, ain't nothing gonna happen there. That's gonna be there forever, until a bomb falls on it. Bottom thing is, go after them on this 801 First Street, let's get First Street cleaned up on the east end side of First Street.
Your Honor, I think it speaks volumes that no one is here from 801 LLC. It says a lot. It's very disappointing to me. And then that they communicated through the media with us, and then they used the excuse of COVID-19 or COVID in fall 2019, it was actually 3 months before COVID hit. 16 months ago, I really had a belief that this was going to be finished, that they were going to prove to us that they needed business. I've walked through the building, they spent a lot of money in there. I know it's a long way from being finished, but some people have a misinterpretation. Our agreement is not for them to have the bottom finished, just to have the storefronts up, and that the 6 apartments upstairs should be finished and rentable. So it's kind of a big difference there. I don't think Lone Star is gonna be moving in there, it's just that they had to have a storefront to where it was ready to be somebody come in and do their thing.
I think you had that before, okay?
Yeah, I don't know, it's not to have a floor.
Just look upstairs, that's the upstairs.
But- Yeah, so they have, I mean, the power's there, plumbing's there, they spent some serious money. So, to me, like tonight, we should probably terminate this agreement. The agreement will extend it to June 13th. They have a building permit to June 1st. But I also think they should come back to us, because we don't want it to sit there. It would behoove them to finish this so they can collect some of the TIF money. The TIF money has a time on it. It's gonna end here shortly, or within 5, 6, 7 years. They should want to finish it so they can collect some of their investment back. So I want them to come back to us, and I know some of you won't believe a word that they say, but I still want to have faith, and I want to be cooperative with them, and I know it would be like the 5th time we've done this. But
Answer your own question.
I know, but like, okay, here's the deal, if we don't extend it, we don't do another agreement with them, they're gonna walk away and we're gonna be blamed for it. And I don't think that's right.
No,
So,
we're not gonna be blamed for it.
well, they're gonna use it as an excuse, we'll see.
They'll say it.
They'll definitely say it. So to me, it's disappointing, and I don't know which avenue to go to, we've already spent money, we spent some of our own money doing this, but they're not gonna leave that like that. I don't understand the reasoning, it baffles me, because just out of PR, why didn't they finish it? Because that's always a joke to people, they always say, hey, when's that that building gonna be finished? And we all roll our eyes.
It's on third.
Yeah, so you're talking what, 6 years?
Yeah, we'll probably try to do an extension downtown. This building may not qualify for the extension.
Yeah.
So, there is, significant progress.
We need a motion.
Yes, I have a motion. I move we approve sending a notice of termination to 801 First Street LLC regarding the TIF redevelopment agreement concerning 801 First Street, and each and every alderman have a copy.
I second. Take the roll, please, you make a motion on the text, on the Reynolds. Real quick, we do have Attorney Cheryl's here, she's our side counsel, and knows on this, but she's already doing some legwork on making sure there's no liens against the property, all that stuff, because that's the fact, right? My understanding is, this is getting, there's no proof on this, but there's understanding there are potential liens on it. That's why there's no availability for them to get loans, because there's no liens on it. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's just what we're hearing, and we need to find that stuff out. By finding it out by going through our title search on it.
I have a question. If the contract is null and void because it's been past the date, why are we giving till June 13th?
Please use the microphone, you all.
Sorry.
Sherry, you wanna take that?
Yeah, I borrow your microphone, Brian?
Sure.
There we go.
You might be your one.
We have to, the agreement doesn't automatically terminate on May 9th. There's a formal procedure for terminating and notice requirements, and that's why that June 13th date is given.
And I don't understand what, on a regular contract, my basic understanding of law, on a regular contract, when it isn't met by one party or the other, the city has the power right now. We don't have to do anything for them.
We have to terminate the agreement as it says
Wait,
in
You're
the,
gonna say unilaterally,
that's the language in the agreement itself.
so
It
if they don't
references-
accept this, it's not
it's-
unilateral.
Yeah, unilateral means we are terminating, we're taking the formal step that's laid out in section M to terminate the agreement.
That the city entered into, and Cheryl is already working on, and the city, in pursuant to thoughts and in regard to this termination, I believe that, Cheryl, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but indicating what she has indicated, on behalf of the city, to be taken and pursuing aggressively any and all appropriate legal remedies available. Is that correct?
That's correct, absolutely.
Thank you.
Alderman Reynolds, I just really want to kind of respond to your point, and I understand what you're trying to say. But I'm going to look at the other alderman here too, to say, I think it's more important to take care of our constituents than maybe potential businesses that are come in. And I think it also represents to our constituents and our businesses already here who've done it right, done the right signatures, that we respect that and we appreciate that, and it kind of sets the expectation for everybody that's coming to LaSalle, that if you're not gonna do it right in your timelines, no offense, we don't really want you. I mean, we don't want empty buildings. And I think there's a lot of people watching this, there is, and, people in that we represent each day, but also people outside, saying, how's LaSalle gonna handle this? Because if we think we're the only ones having issues with this group, we're not. So a motion, attack, in the second.
One thought though, but the increment is created when it's finished, so the money isn't really coming from us, it's coming through the tax that they create.
Correct.
So like, they should finish it so they can cover what they're paying in on the real estate tax. So like, to me, like, we should be backing that we want development to come in.
I agree.
I know, we definitely have, we've gone over 4 or 5 times, we've been hoping for that.
But here's the thing is, they have the money to do it, and they're not doing it. That's the thing, look at that Mr. Bird, he bought that shack down there on 500 First Street, and he's got that almost done. There was no roof on it or anything, and he gets the job done.
Let's see how.
Right, finally, but when he was down and struggling, everybody was against him, but when he come across and got the job done, then everybody thinks it's great, and I think it's great, I've been in there a number of times. But my point is, why don't we just give it another shot here and go and then make this the final one?
Why didn't they do it, they got the money though, they got the money.
We have a motion right now to terminate. It is in their court to come back to us.
I second Tom's motion.
I think Mr. Alderman Reynolds seconded, is that correct?
Yes. Yes. Okay, Alderman Thompson.
For determination, correct, the letter? Yes.
Patak.
Aye.
Reynolds. Alderman Reynolds.
I second the motion, but I'm wondering if it's.
Somebody want to vote?
No. No, I don't want to terminate it.
That's nay. LaBerry. Aye. Jepson.
Aye.
Herndon.
Aye.
Crane.
Aye.
Bassador.
Aye.
Let the record show, please, the mayor votes aye.
Jim, we pass this when the second votes no.
I believe we probably can, but it would not hurt to re-vote it and to have a different second to eliminate any question.
I think in this case, we should revote.
Good catch. I don't know. We have a motion on the tab. We have a second by Alderman Thompson. Please take the roll.
Alderman Patak.
Aye.
Reynolds.
No.
LaBerry. Aye. Jepson.
Aye.
Herndon.
Aye.
Crane.
Aye.
Bassador.
Aye.
Thompson.
Aye.
Mayor Grove.
Aye. Gentlemen, I appreciate the discussion, I appreciate all the city staff that's been working on this behind the scenes, I appreciate Jim and Cheryl. Obviously, there's a lot going on, a lot of work to do to make sure, but, see, I think we're starting the right direction.
I want to indicate for the record too, Mayor, that not only Cheryl and myself, but we have conferred extensively with TIF counsel, her client on this, who is on board with the notice of, well, it's not for any of us as lawyers to vote. but he is part of the process in providing advice to the city on this, and is aware that this is up for consideration tonight. And if the council was of a mind to do it, as Cheryl and I did, he supported the language in the notice.
Any other new business?
I have an item really quick. The resident of 1147th Street reached out to me today, notifying me that they purchased the home and there's a handicap parking space out front. They no longer need that space, they don't see anyone else using it while they have the home. And not being any action on this tonight, but I would imagine this is going to be forwarded to street signs and traffic, will notify the community of removing the handicap space and anyone further on this.
All right, we'll put it on the agenda for the streets and alleys for 2 weeks from tonight, directed all the finance.
We have a motion from Doc to do that, you second that, Terry?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against, motion carried.
I'd like to add one more thing about the streets and alleys for 356, I believe, is Crescent Street. We need to get in there, take a look at the problem with the park. On what, 350? And two houses prior to that. We need to look, there's parking problem there, we need to come up with some kind of a solution. The problem is that we have a parking problem there, and all the neighbors are complaining and trying to take advantage and parking in front of each other's drives. So we need to go over there and make a decision, but that's why it's streets and alleys.
All right, so put that on the streets and alleys.
Do we want to consider then no parking on certain street, or we just?
A portion of it.
Okay.
Your Honor, I have something. Under new business. Shaw Media Marketplace, their coupons and their little baggies, I thought we had worked this out. They're back to throwing them out in the neighborhoods again, and I thought we had fixed. So I don't know why they're doing it. That's littering, period. It's not requesting. I didn't want it on my property, and it ended there, and I got calls from residents, 2 of them.
That might have been before the switchover, so.
Just this,
No.
oh, before the original, okay.
Sean might not know about it, so we'll.
Yeah, I think the first time was with the News Tribune. They were doing it.
Be comfortable with us just reaching out. That's enough.
Yes, that's fine, I'm sure they'll stop.
I did have one other thing under new business, actually 2 things. Weekend of Memorial Day weekend, folks, is to be the Arts in the Park music at Pulaski Park. It's gonna be Saturday and Sunday of Memorial Day weekend. Also, talked to the group today, the staff at our meeting, and just to remind them that we're gonna make sure, we pretty much need to tell folks who want to be on the agenda for business purposes that we need to have that by noon on Thursday, just to make the council meeting, because then it's just a run around for Brent and Amy and for Jim. So Kurt unfortunately got something late Friday afternoon, and I told him we're gonna pass on it, but you guys should have it in front of you. It's nothing we need to officially take action on, we're just recommend it to the.
That's correct, Mayor. It's a request for a special use permit relating to a potential new business that will have, as I understand it, a combination of something related to cannabis, and that we follow your, and additionally regarding solar panels. And that's going to require planning commission action, but while the city of LaSalle has historically referred those things by motion and a vote, that's not necessary when someone brings an application that requires by the planning commission. It is appropriate to just announce it at a council meeting, and then it's similar to what we do sometimes with streets and alleys and things, and then to that gives the public a little bit of an advance notice even before formal publications go out, so that they, not only the person who's making the request, but the citizens as a whole have more advance notice of what's coming and what's being requested. So
they would like to.
That's going to
start
go,
the process.
it's going to be just starting the process and be sent to the planning commission in regard to their requests. And I expect they may even supplement what they have on file already, but certainly anything that they have can be, is available for anyone to look at from City Hall.
Let's do that, no problem.
So do we need a motion or no? We do not need one. Okay.
to make sure everybody's aware of it, you should have a copy of
I
your.
just wanna make sure everyone's aware. A motion would be all right if it was on the agenda, it was not an agenda item, but it does not need to have any formal action by the council, because all we're doing is following appropriate process pursuant to state statutes and our ordinances on zoning. As a courtesy, we have often had a motion and a vote at council, but that's not absolutely required under the law. Important thing is that the public gets notice.
Thank you, Jim, thank you, Alvin. Any other new business? Ordinance, discussion of action on the following additional ordinance resolution.
An ordinance approving and authorizing the execution of a tax increment financing TIP district redevelopment agreement by and between the city of LaSalle County, Illinois, and Towpath Properties LLC and John Galvin and related matters.
Your Honor, I make the motion that we approve the, request ordinance authorizing the, execution of the tax increment financing TIF district redevelopment agreement by and between, the city of LaSalle County, Illinois, and Towpath Properties LLC, and John Gavin and related matters. Each alderman has a copy.
Kurt, you wanna say anything about what this development is, or?
This is kind of a rehabilitation of the building that's on the end of First Street and you're going down towards the depot, right behind the Commence architectural building. They've done some significant work in there regarding the upper floor as well as installation of windows. And their next move is going to be working on the lower floor to get it into commercial space.
Just let, we have a motion by Alderman Reynolds, we have a second.
Second.
Motion by, second by Alderman Thompson, please take the roll.
Alderman Reynolds.
Aye.
LeBerry. Jefferson.
Aye.
Herndon.
Aye.
Crane.
Aye.
Vassador.
Aye.
Thompson.
Aye.
Attack.
Aye. No need for executive session tonight, gentlemen.
Total submitted $870,741.23.
Your Honor, I move that we, accept, pay, and file the bills of each and every element of the top.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Tax, I'm Alderman LeBerry, please take the roll.
Alderman LeBerry. Aye. Jefferson.
Aye.
Herndon.
Aye.
Crane.
Aye.
Vassador.
Aye.
Thompson.
Aye.
Attack.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
The motion for adjournment.
Make a motion for adjournment.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Reynolds, Alderman Crane, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carried. Thanks, everybody. Good to meet tonight. Good discussion. Have a great night.
Jeff, did I miss my first warning? I was not made aware that I ever had one. Jeff, did I have a first warning or not? You just being a tyrant again? No, dang well, I didn't have no warning. Do you like my speech? Did I have a first warning here, sir? Did I get warned? I never heard a first warning. You what? No further comment? Is it because you let him go on that unconstitutional rampage? Have a good night. Bye, Ambassador. Take care. The city attorney had no comment. Mr. Grove, I was just curious if I was warned for the first time. Excuse me, Mr. Grove, when was I warned first? Have you ever heard of the Equal Protection Clause? Mr. Grove, I tried to ask you first. Oh, you turned it off. Was that you? That was you. I took advantage of it when I saw him doing it. I was like, that's a good idea. I already knew he wasn't going to answer. He's not man enough to do so. Wasn't that something, man?
Last 3 weekends.
Take care. Bye, Brent. I'll see you soon, I'm sure. So John Small is up there with the mayor. They were accused earlier today of having some interesting shenanigans. John Small's the guy in the red up there. That's Pete Steins. He's the sergeant. He's all right. I'm assuming he's here because Officer Bray was supposed to be here. I was hoping to see Bray, but I had a different question in mind this time. Not what he was expecting. So the mayor refused to answer when I got my first strike because I literally do not know. And then he asked if we had further questions, and I tried to ask. I raised my hand and asked, just like three others were allowed to do that. Take care, Chief. 3 others were allowed to do that. Dawn, Dina, and that guy. Eventually the guy was shut up by him too. But they were allowed to speak and ask other questions, but I was not, which is interesting. I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to get me thrown out of the meeting so he can try to pull a Jamie on me. I'm just narrating. Not you. He pointed at himself and gave me a weird look. Oh, I'd break my leg doing that.
I understand.
Get what you can and that's
Yeah, no problem.
These guys are in my way.
Well, as you know.
I'm probably in their way too, I guess. Brent did shut off my microphone. That was funny.
I remember when we came in and I had my approach off.
Great job, take care.
Right, you and I worked on that when we replaced that sewer.
Exactly.
Right.
Unfortunately, our elevation still compromises when it rains. That whole intersection fills up with dirt. But that's just the way that.
I wish you didn't make me wait till then. I normally like to stand here and say goodbye though.
Barricades out and see what we
Yeah.
can do.
Great.
Okay?
Yes, thanks so much for your.
Take care. Thanks for giving me the mic idea. I saw you messing with your mic and it made me realize they were still on.
Probably 5 or 6.
Oh, really? The brick, are they all along Marquette Street you're thinking, or?
Gooding,
Okay,
the main ones are Gooding and Marquette.
I see, okay. I find that so interesting because it goes back
I don't think
to the
there's
history.
nothing 23rd.
Can I ask you? I know you don't like being on camera.
Okay.
You've already been on it a little bit. You look handsome. But anyway, do you understand that if I didn't catch the entire.
Because he's talking to everybody else, he's talking, and I tried to shut the door so you could talk out here and be as loud as needed. And that disturbed them because I don't want them coming out and saying, Angels, I'll give you a mark. So they didn't say anything while you were gone, that's why I shut the door. And I tapped on the side and be like, I want to make sure that they could see, I didn't catch the lady's name.
Oh yeah, that's a woman.
Bazillionaires.
But that was my thing, like
well,
they had a question, I knew you probably didn't know, that might have been in the line of sight.
Yeah, I saw her sitting there, but I probably would
That's why I
rock back and
switched
forth.
spots with you later.
No, I appreciate it, but you do understand that if he's on a rampage, like whatever you were starting in the beginning, unless we really are violating, number one, something with the Open Meetings Act or something they have written down and voted on and such.
Well, I would articulate like you were ignorant to it because you weren't here for the first couple minutes, which whatever, it happens, so.
But,
I understand where you're coming from.
you know, if, like he literally said himself actually recorded. But if I said, he's a cocksucker or something like that, I have every right to do so. Now I don't get up there doing that. Maybe you don't know that, but I don't. But you better not put your oath on the line for some rampage. Somebody has to learn to stand up. And I know why I think you're here.
Oh,
Is it 'cause
actually,
Bray didn't
no,
wanna
did you
be
hear me
here?
the radios?
I did hear him.
We have a new officer, so, he's actually one of the people that are down here, so they're out there, and probably walked in at the same time. I was right before the opening line.
Yeah, we had a softball game. I was gonna have to miss a little bit of it and then come back.
How'd they
but-
do?
Well, it got canceled.
Hey, I was just gonna say, it was raining, so I was a little shocked, that's
It was
all.
in Spring Valley, so I had it all set up. We were supposed to have two, so I wasn't even gonna come, and then one got canceled, and the second one did. Coco's the coach on that one.
Oh, yeah?
I hate to ask him to just leave him, but I'm doing it.
What do you want to ask me? I'm sorry.
When I got the first strike, I literally do not know.
I heard strike two, and I don't know if he signaled up because he raised his arm or something along those lines. If that was 1 and 2, I don't know. I'm not gonna. Angel, you saw as much as I did, so I'm not gonna sit here and.
Yeah,
know.
well, do you understand that makes it hard to follow any rules if it's going on like that? And I know dang well you saw that I wasn't being treated equally. I get that you won't want to say it. Bye, Brad.
See ya.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Take care, honey.
Just trying to hold the door. Have a good night.
You were still there at Louis' house, right? That's where you kind of were, how long were you there for?
Long time.
Yeah, so, yeah, I didn't know that. And now I see your mom, I'm like, oh, okay. And I thought you said your sister or niece.
Yeah.
Jeff, can you tell me when I got my first warning?
Angel,
Because I do not
You have a
know.
great night tonight.
When did I get my first warning, Jeff?
We're very happy that things are brought up, because we don't see everything, we're not perfect.
You ignore me,
So
though.
thank you. No, just because I don't get back to somebody, I try to show that our actions are speaking for them, so hopefully you see the result. Sometimes we're not gonna happen as fast as you want, but we're gonna try, so.
It shouldn't have taken a month to get,
It takes a while.
you know, I could have flung my tampon across the floor.
Thank
mean,
you.
literally
Thanks
didn't
for
have
coming,
other-
sir. Thanks for your suggestions and your input, they are
Well,
appreciated.
people do that, though. I saw some nasty stuff when I worked at a gas station. So you didn't give me a first warning, right? You know what we call that, right, Jeff? The walk of shame. When you're doing wrong and you walk away, do better. Asshole. Well, I'm glad I finally got to meet you.
Huh?
Said I'm glad I finally got to officially meet you.
Oh, today's official?
I think so, more than in passing. You
Good luck with
did.
the softball game, so you got me here.
Yeah, we got quite a few going on this week.
Oh, they're never ending.
No, all big fun though.
Oh, yeah.
Be safe tonight.
I'll try my best.
Well, I actually see him all the time at the gym. I called him bitching about something a couple weeks ago. Or, no, it wasn't even that long. Bye, Jeff! I'm going back to see. I know dang well I didn't get no first warning, and if I did, I sure didn't hear it. All right, guys. Well, hold on here.
I understand the arm.
Yeah, I'm pretty disappointed.
But if they're not living
What a disappointing mayor. He's a jerk.
Well, we enjoyed them when I was able to.
But anyway, that's all we have for the council meeting today. As you see, the mayor treats me poorly.
There you go, all right.
Actually, I'm gonna ask Brent if I got a strike.
I'll see you later.
Yeah. So then when the contract is up, you gotta understand that.
Ah, shit. Damn it, Brent.
Options and compromises that can happen.
I don't know if he forgot something or if he's not coming back.
Yeah.
I did want to ask him.
Right.
I mean, if I did get a first strike, it'll be... Well, I'm not even gonna say it.
Sometimes convenience is not part of the order of the
I'm
day.
hoping he got that because I want to ask him. Oh, never mind. Scared away from the rain.
Yeah.
I know, I put mine on my
No, he's
driveway,
not
but
coming.
it isn't where, it doesn't get set back down. That's where it gets.
Well, there you have it. Mayor Grove's a tyrant yet again. even after, it doesn't matter if I go out of my way saying, hey, I don't like threats, blah, 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 things like that. Doing my part, what I believe is my part, and speaking exactly what I spoke to the chief, because I don't support that whatsoever. John, do you know if my first warning was during public comment or when it was? I don't think I got one. I think he was confused. I think so. You take care. Good to see you. I like your belt buckle.
What's that?
Say, I like your belt buckle.
Oh, thanks.
Shiny. All right, well, got John. I'm not waiting around to ask Brent. The mayor's a freaking punk. Just upsetting. You know, and then they wonder why people run their mouth to him. And I had a great valid point. People do all sorts of weird stuff when they don't have the proper cans. Honestly, you see a lot of weird, nasty stuff when people do have the proper cans. Jeff tried to say, oh, just because we don't get back to you, blah, blah, blah. Like, no. Who taught you to act that way? If you don't contact your kid's teacher back, they just assume that you didn't get it, you're ignoring them, something like that. Yeah, dude, I think the second I walked in the door, I walked in late, actually, because I was fighting with my camera, and it was a mess. I was surprised I made it all work, but it did. Walked to my... Yeah, for real. Right on, car thief. All right, guys. Well, that's all I have for today. Apparently, I pissed Grove off. I don't know why. I think it was just my presence. I think my existence pisses him off at this point. I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to pull a Jamie on me by kicking me out of, because this would be my second meeting, even though I was ready to go and had my backpack on for my final word the one time. I know what he's trying to do. I'm not stupid. He should know by now, but I guess he doesn't. But yeah, that's all we got. Freaking Tyrant Rampage. I wish I caught it all in the beginning. I will be going over there, city live stream. I will post it if they have it up. They conveniently have audio problems all the time. Don't you, City of LaSalle? But what can you do? Thanks for sticking with me, guys. Appreciate it. Sorry for this weird view of it. It just would not let me go to the horizontal view. I tried. I even shut my phone off, turned it back on. So I think that's something to do with something with YouTube. And I cannot stand it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Tell your friends. Bye. Well, once I can get out of it. Okay, not really. Bye.